Hello crafters, this is the card we are going to make. It's a vintage looking card made with the Creative Elements stamp set by Stampin' Up and the Vintage Versus stamp set as well. Both unfortunately are retired, but at the moment they are my favourite stamp sets, so I'll just keep making things with these for a little while until I can start using new stamp sets. So we're going to start with a crumb cake card base. It was an A4 folded, scored in, cut in half, folded in half again, and generally I tend to start with the inside of the card. I'm going to put a butterfly on there, so taking my crumb cake ink, I'm going to stamp it in the corner there, and I'll just leave that to dry like this out of the way so we can start concentrating on the front of the card. So we're going to create the front by stamping the big image in the two corners like this, so that it sort of meets one another in the middle. There we go. Then I'm going to use the edge of the stamp set. I'm going to put it here at the bottom and on the other side as well. Right. Then I'm going to stamp the butterfly again for the decoration on a piece of scrap, and I'll be cutting that out. I have already stamped the flowers and cut them out. I just need to cut out the third part of the flower. It doesn't take long to cut it out. This flower is quite forgiving when you're cutting it out because it's sort of up and down in spikes, so it works quite well. Also, I've edged the flower here a little bit. I don't know whether you can see that it's a little bit darker, and that way it takes care of all the wide edges, and you can't see that you've actually sort of cut out badly if that would be the case. On this card I've also used Rich Razzleberry, but I think the card that I'm making with you today, I'm just going to do a crumb cake, and we'll see the difference in sort of what the cards look like. So that's the background. I'm going to sponge the sides, so I'm going to use a dauber, and I'm going to sponge the sides like this. You can do it quite rough because that's the look of the card. I don't want sort of, it's okay if you go in too much. So if you like daubing, this is the kind of card you want to make. And then generally I try to sort of make it even dirtier almost by sort of going into it a little bit like that. So that's our background done. Here I've got a little scrap of paper that's just as wide as the card, and it's about 2 inches high. And then I've got here some scraps. I've got several, so we'll choose one that goes. See, this is why I put the Rich Razzleberry behind, because it makes it edges it nice. So I think we'll do that. Otherwise it's a bit plain and boring. So we'll take this one, and I'm going to stamp the thanks from the Vintage Versus on here. And I like to sort of line it up on my grid paper, not that it helps to put it straight, but even so, hopefully it's straight enough. So I've put it sort of to the right and down on this piece of paper. There you go, that's perfect. And we've got the dauber again to edge our sentiment here. Right. So let's see how we're going to put this together. We're not there yet, but just a quick composition always helps to get everything into perspective. like this. Then the flower, the butterfly needs to be cut out. This butterfly is one without a punch, so it needs to be, if you're going to use it like this, layered, then it needs to be cut out. Now the thing is, it's not a difficult one to cut out, and again, if you edge it a little bit, then you can't see that you've done it sort of not quite the way it should have been cut out, but it's okay, I don't mind. I like punching things, mind you, but if it's not to be, then it's not to be. When you're cutting like this, it's easy if you try and twist the paper and hold your scissors steady. There we go, almost there. The flower that we use as well, I've already cut 2 of them out. I just need to do the smallest one, so that's not going to take much time for me to do that together with you here. There we go, so that's the butterfly, that can go there. And then I've got the flower here. So now the thing is, where am I going to put it? I think I might put it a bit lower and then have the flower up there as well. So all I need to do is a 3rd layer of the flower. Again, like I said earlier, it's quite an easy flower to cut out. It's also an easy flower to divide up into 3, so you can make your layers. You just pick out the petals that you want in that layer and you just cut round them. And the closer and the smaller your flower is going to be, the quicker it will be cut out. So we're nearly there, just one more petal to go. There. So, and that goes on top of there. Okay, so I need some dimensions, and I'll just layer some of these on here. Try to find the right direction for the flower. Right. I'm using up some of my old supplies still, so hopefully I'll get through them quite quickly. I'll be using the proper dimensionals. How does this one twist? There we go. There we are. And on top of that, I'm going to put a again. I'm almost run out of my pearl, so that's good. And put that in the middle of the flower. There we go. So the flower's ready. This is ready. Before I used a different butterfly punch, and I made another one, so I'll do that again. It's fairly similar, this butterfly, but not exactly the same as that particular butterfly, see? But when you put it behind, it doesn't sort of, you know, it's nice because it's just a little bit bigger and it just edges it nicely. There we go, and then we've got the flower. Yeah, I think we're ready to start assembling. Right, so glue. Right, I'm putting the glue on here. If it wants to come out, of course, as usual. It doesn't. Nearly the end of that one, so that's good as well. Can swap over to Stampin' Up! Ones. Then we have our background, which we're going to glue on to the front. These mats are all a 1/4 of an inch smaller, so you have a nice border all around. Then we have our thanks, which I put some glue on, and we put on the red one. Rich Razzleberry, I should say. and then we have glue on that one, and then we put that on the crumb cake one. So I've got a dimension on my wrist there. The crumb cake one. Yeah, I edged it, didn't forget that, good. And then glue on there, and we put that sort of a little bit towards the bottom because I want to put the flower at the top this time. Here I put it more towards the middle, and I put the flower below, but I want to put the flower there. See, it just fits. And the butterfly there, yep, that's perfect. So again, glue. I'm using just ordinary liquid glue, which is very smelly. I'll be glad when the pot is finished, because I find it too smelly actually. There we go, and then here, the butterfly on top of there. And it keeps moving, this glue. It takes a while for it to dry. It does dry clear. There we go. One more, I'll put a pearl. Oh, yes, I bought the wrong ones, I know. When they're used up, I'll buy the ones with the sticky backing. Goodness, how could I have missed that? There we go. And that's our card for today. Hope you enjoyed watching it.